Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about if statements. This is one of the most important statements in any programming language at all, not just Python. And it's largely because as human beings, we process conditions almost every time. And the way we think is the way if statements are constructed and used in programming. Most people wake up in the morning and their brain starts processing a number of variables. Or if it's a weekday and there's no national holiday, then you need to get up from bed and start preparing for work. Yeah, if you check outside and it's not raining, then you don't need your umbrella. There are a number of situations like that we always need to evaluate before we make decisions. So in programming environment, we will always evaluate conditions and then make decisions on the basis of the judgment we come up with. Now, these conditions are usually driven by a number of, business logic. There are is situations just like we dealt with when we're talking about operators, logical operators, and we focused on and with or and then not. And then we talked about the concept of the truth table. So I just brought up this again, just as a way of, revising the concept. We will always have situations where we need to decide on what the outcome will be based on our evaluation of certain condition or conditions. And the conditions may not necessarily be two, they may be more than two. So it depends on your reality. The intuition behind this logic on the screen here is to say if you are dealing with AND operator, then all of your conditions must evaluate to true before you can have a true result. But if you're dealing with OR operators, or operator rather, then you only need one condition to test true before you get a true result. You do not need more than one. Once condition 1 or condition 2 or condition 3 or condition n is true, then your result is going to be true. So in summary, OR is less restrictive compared to AND operator. And once you remember this, it's going to be a lot easier for you to write if statements in Python environment. So let's cut through to our VS Code and see how Python handles if statement. I'm going to create a new file. It's a Jupyter notebook. It is right in there. The general structure for if statement looks like this. If condition is true, even though we don't write it this way, I'm just giving you like a layman's construct. Then, so the then is going to be this colon. Then we do something. Okay. That's the general construct. Some other people will look at it and say, oh, if it is this simple, then I can write if statement. Yes, you can. I can expand this to another structure that will say else. Then do something else. So this one is saying if condition is evaluated to be true, then we want you to do something. And that's just it. Nothing more than that. The second construct goes beyond just doing something. Then there is something else you need to do if the condition is not true. And that's what you have in the else part here. I need you to call your attention to the indentation mechanism here. You see the moment I put the colon and I pressed enter, my cursor goes to a particular spot which is not directly under the I here. And that's where the next set of commands should be issued from. Don't try to go to the beginning like this or be playing around with the indentation. Just leave it in that standard format and then you'll be fine. Otherwise, your editor will tell you the indentation is wrong and it will help you format your script appropriately. That's one of the benefits of using standard IDEs like VS Code. So this is a basic if statement. This is a little bit more complicated. Even this basic one doesn't have to be a multi-line statement. I could have written everything on a single line like this, and it will still work. I'll give demos of all of these one after the other. But this is not the most complicated structure of if statement. This is just a fairly simple if statement. It's possible for me to have something more complicated. So let's say we have if condition 1 is equal to, let's say, 1, do something. Okay, then we can come back here and say elif, not elo if. This is a typo. Elif condition 1 is equal to 2. Then we can say do something else. That's like a do 2. But this is going to be, hold on a second. This is it. Yeah. So this is going to be like my new condition. I'm checking condition 1 again. If it is 1, do something. Let's say do 1. If it is 2, do this. So I can have multiple situations where I'll keep having elif is this, elif is that. This is going to be do 3. And when I'm done with all of my evaluations, then the last one will be do something else. Okay, we don't know what the situation may be. So you may have contexts like this. This is a possibility. I'll show you an example of if statement that will have this syntax. And it's also possible to nest if statement. If one condition is true, then inside it you can embed another if statement depending on the complexity of what you are dealing with. So instead of just saying do 1, I can have if x is equal to 3, then do something. This is also possible. So I am nesting one if statement inside another one. But before it gets a little bit messy, let's start dealing with tangibles by going up here to see what exactly is the scenario where this construct is going to work. So let's say it's election year and you want minimum voting age to be 18. Okay, and I come in here, that's a typo, minimum voting age is 18, and then you prompt me for my own age, and I give you your age, and hold on a second, where's my bracket? Okay, this is my question mark. So you are prompting me for my age, so I put my age here. It's going to be an integer cast up this and okay, so that's my age. Then the condition here will not be equal. That was just like a demo. I'll come in here and say if my age is greater than or equal to minimum voting age, then you can print a message on the screen. Congrats, you are eligible to vote. Yeah, that's just it. So we're comparing my age with the minimum voting age. If my age is greater than or equal to minimum voting age, it means I'm eligible to vote. So the code will simply display this message. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything because we're not programming it to do anything yet. So we can test run this. We use this kernel, and then it will prompt me for my age shortly. Just hold on a second. Yep, so it's prompting me for my age. My age is 12. I give 12. And then the program runs and it doesn't do anything because we did not ask it to do anything yet. But if I rerun that cell and I put 21 instead of 12, it tells me here, congrats, you are eligible to vote, because it evaluates this condition. It finds it to be true because 21 is greater than or equal to 18, which has been set as the minimum. So it executes this part of the code for me. That is one way of doing this. But could I have done this on a single line? Yes. You could have copied all of this, put it in this cell, and say that on this line, just bring the print statement here. This would also work since it doesn't have an else component. You do not need to worry your head about this. So let's test this. It's asking for my age again. I put 21 and then it says, congrats, you are eligible to vote. So that's the syntax in the most basic format. But how about the situation where you have else? Oh, okay, I'm 21, I can vote. How about when I am not 21 or I'm not up to 18 yet and I can't vote? What would the construct look like? You make a copy of the previous code here, paste it in here, and I'll say when you are above 18 and above, print that. Else, I'll print sorry, you are underaged. Maybe some people will find that a bit insulting, but you can look for a more romantic way of writing that. And then if I write this and I put 12, I'm running it, it's prompting me at the top here. It says, sorry, you are underaged. You can vote. You can write something, else there. So that's the else component of this. It checks my age. It says 12 there. Is 12 greater than or equal to minimum voting age? No, it's not. And that's why it executed this. If I run it again and I put my age as 21, it checks. Oh, congrats, you are eligible to vote. Is 21 greater than or equal to minimum voting age? Yes, that's correct. That's why it executed this line of code, which is the output that we see in here. So this is a very simple way in which you can use if statements in Python environment once you understand the general idea behind evaluating conditions and deciding on whether the condition or conditions are true or false. Then you can come around and implement if statements like this. In the next video, I'm going to show us some more complicated situations where it's not just going to be right or left as we have seen here, and that is where we will evaluate multiple conditions and then come to different conclusions at the end of the day. I'll see you then. Bye for now.